In a world that thrives on constant communication, texts, calls, social media updates, and endless conversations, silence is often overlooked. Yet silence can be one of the most powerful signs in human interaction. Whether in relationships, leadership, arguments, or personal growth, silence can shape outcomes in ways that words cannot. Understanding the psychology of silence can be a game changer in social situations, career advancement, and emotional intelligence. Let's explore why silence is so powerful, with real-life examples, psychological insights, and practical applications. 1. How silence shapes conversations. When you master silence, you gain control over conversations. Silence creates space for reflection, forces others to fill the gap, and can shift power dynamics in your favor. Example: imagine you're in a job interview. You've just answered a difficult question, and the interviewer stays silent, looking at you. You start feeling the pressure to fill the silence with more words, maybe oversharing or backtracking on what you said. But if you recognize the power of silence, you will stay calm, letting them speak next. This is a common negotiation tactic, as silence makes people uncomfortable and more likely to reveal valuable information. The psychology behind it. Silence triggers a phenomenon called the pause principle. Our brain naturally wants to fill gaps in conversation. In sales and negotiations, silence is often used to pressure the other person into revealing more or making concessions. Harvard Business Review notes that people who use well-timed silence tend to be seen as more confident and persuasive. 2. Why silence is more powerful than words. When emotions are high, responding with silence rather than anger or defensiveness can be the most impactful reaction. Example: you get into a heated argument with a friend. Instead of immediately firing back, you take a deep breath and say nothing. That moment of silence forces them to reflect on their words, sometimes even making them feel guilty or rethink their approach. Psychological insight. Silence can de-escalate conflict. According to studies in emotional intelligence, people who respond with calmness and silence instead of emotional outbursts are perceived as more mature and emotionally intelligent. The brain's amygdala, responsible for emotional reactions, is less likely to hijack rational thinking when silence is used instead of impulsive speech. 3. When words aren't needed, silence can communicate emotions more effectively than words. Whether it's disappointment, love, or understanding, silence can say what words often cannot. Example: a friend hurts you deeply. Instead of arguing, you decide to step back and remain silent. Your silence is louder than any words. It tells them that their actions have impacted you deeply, making them more likely to reflect and feel remorse. The psychology of emotional silence. According to psychologist John Gottman, healthy relationships thrive on both verbal and nonverbal communication. Silence can be a way to process emotions, give space, and allow deeper understanding between individuals. However, not all silence is healthy. The silent treatment can be manipulative if used to punish someone. The key is to use silence as a tool for understanding, not control. 4. Why the best leaders use silence. Great leaders know that silence can demonstrate authority and confidence. Instead of rushing to speak, they listen more, process thoughts, and respond with clarity. Example: imagine a CEO in a meeting. Instead of immediately jumping in, they pause, absorb the discussion, and then speak with precision. Their silence makes their words more powerful. The science of leadership. Silence. A study from MIT's Sloan School of Management found that leaders who practice strategic silence are viewed as more competent and composed. This aligns with the power paradox. Those who speak less often hold more influence because their words carry greater weight. 5. The power of being alone in silence. In today's hyper-connected world, silence is a rare gift. Taking time in silence allows you to reflect, process emotions, and understand yourself better. Example: spending 10 minutes a day in silence, without music or distractions, can significantly improve mental clarity and emotional regulation. Psychological impact research by the American Psychological Association suggests that silence helps reduce stress, improves focus, and enhances creativity. The brain needs quiet moments to process information deeply, a phenomenon known as the default mode network. 6. The power of not revealing everything. People who don't always reveal their thoughts are often perceived as more interesting and desirable. Example: if you don't immediately reveal everything about yourself on a first date or in a new friendship, it creates curiosity and intrigue, making others more invested in getting to know you. Psychology behind mystery. According to social attraction theories, people are naturally drawn to mystery. When someone isn't overly talkative about their life, it triggers a psychological response known as the Zeigarnik effect. Our brains focus more on unfinished stories, making us curious about people who don't reveal too much. 7. The dangers of silence when not to use it. While silence is powerful, it can also be harmful if used incorrectly. Here's when silence is not beneficial. Avoiding confrontation entirely. Silence should not replace necessary communication. If a relationship or situation requires discussion, using silence to escape the issue can be damaging. Silent treatment as punishment. Using silence to manipulate or hurt someone is toxic and can cause emotional damage. Bottling up emotions. If you're feeling something deeply, staying silent forever is not healthy. Expressing emotions when necessary is key to mental well-being. Silence is a powerful tool when used wisely. Whether you want to gain control in conversations, de-escalate conflicts, show confidence, or discover yourself, silence can be your greatest ally. But it must be used with intentionality and balance, not as a weapon or a form of avoidance. So next time you're in a conversation, an argument, or simply reflecting on life, remember, sometimes saying nothing says everything. See you next time, and don't forget to share and subscribe.